I forgot to shoot my video for day one. It was a busy day, so I guess I'll update you on how it went. I had a session yesterday and I spent most of the day brainstorming this scene, the next scene that I had to write basically for day one, and I took all day to do it until I could find something that I liked. Ended up basically being the same as when I started. I wrote about 600 new words, and those 600 words replaced 3 pages of my manuscript, so I counted both the pages cut as pages revised and the words, so that put me at about 1900 words, which might be cheating a little bit for myself, but it's day one, it's fine. I'm not going to make a habit of doing that, but yeah. So now it's day 2. I have been ill for over a week and my throat hurts. Okay, it's about 6 o'clock, day 2, and I am calling it for today. Even though I haven't nearly hit word count, I've got about 600 words, but that's because I had to spend a few hours re-outlining the current chapter that I'm working on. It actually got broken down into 2 chapters because there was a ton that needed to happen in it. That outline was a mess, and yeah, it really needed to happen. I'm really glad I did it. It's a lot better now, and I think it's going to really speed me up for actually getting through this chapter. And I did start to write the new scene that needs to go in there, and it was flowing much more quickly than yesterday and much more easily. So I think I've got a really good chance of being able to catch up tomorrow. Hello friends, had an alright writing day, about 1800 words, so I hit my daily word count, but I did not catch up from the words that I missed yesterday, and we're done for the day. I am on the mend, but Ross is really not feeling good, so we are going to have a quiet evening, and yeah, so we've went and got Starbucks, and we're gonna go to Asda and look at some DVDs and things, and I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna watch this evening. So I just saw something in a coffee shop that made me want to do one of my coffee rants, kind of. It could be a Twitter thread, it could be a video, it could be on Instagram stories, but I still haven't written anything today. I had 2 things to brainstorm before I could revise this scene. One, where it takes place, because that's kind of important in this scene, and another logistical thing which I can't say because spoilers, but I have figured out one and not the other. I haven't even started it yet, so focus, Rachel, focus. No coffee rants until you get your words done, okay? So today I was trying something a bit different. I was doing a 20-minute sprint of writing and then something else that I had to get done because I had a lot to get done today. And I think that worked really well. Although I think I only managed like 3, maybe 4 sprints total. And I'm definitely not at word count for the day, but I think that system works pretty well. It just so happens that today I had too many something elses to do. Oh, is that fireworks in the background? It's also bonfire night tonight here in the UK, which means lots of fireworks, but Ross isn't feeling so great and I cannot drive, so I don't know if we're going to actually get out to see any fireworks. I look kind of ominous lit from below. It's been a really good day, very busy. We had our Nanowrimo virtual write-in, or at least I did, with my friend Jen, and it was really fun and awesome, but we did not get a ton of words done compared to you guys at least. We did another Instagram chat and we tried to write a bit, but mostly we just ended up speaking for most of the day and kind of catching up and talking about our stories, but it's been good. And I've got potato waffles on now. It's 11:30 and I have written 0 words today, and I literally just got changed. I've still to do my makeup. Did not get a great night's sleep last night. Ross was basically up all night coughing, even though he's already been to the doctor and got medicine. So neither of us got a full night's sleep. He's off work today, so he's playing Overwatch in the other room, and I need to get some shit done because I am going out to a bookish event this evening with Jen, so I need to do stuff today. Never underestimate the power of getting dressed though. I know this doesn't apply to people who aren't self-employed, and it seems very obvious, but I was just in my pajamas like, I don't want to do anything today, and now I got changed and I'm like, hey, maybe I could write some words today. Never underestimate the power of getting dressed. Yesterday was really fun and inspiring, but I did not get a whole lot of words done. I did not get to 1600 daily word count, and I'm already behind. Or I was already behind before that. But me and Jen did have a lot of good chat about our novels, which felt like we should have been working, but I think it was really valuable because, yeah, I don't think I talk about my novel to people enough, you know, to work out problems and stuff, which I call it a form of brainstorming. I call it Holmes method, when you're like bouncing ideas off someone. Because often you have those chats and you finish it and you're like, you know, we chatted it out, there's some ideas, I don't think I've really fixed it though. And then later you come back to, when you do come back to writing, you're like, oh, I actually have kind of fixed it, or they helped me fix it, or they've fixed it. So I think I want to do more of that. So it was valuable, and I fixed, like, I got part of a scene that I could not figure out how it was going to happen. By the end of last night, actually, while we were driving home, I was like, oh my god, I know exactly what happens. So that's good. Unfortunately, Nanowrimo only cares if you've done the words, so I need to get on that as well.
Ross is off ill today, and it's such a novelty to have him at home on a work day that I just don't want to work. I just want to go and hang out on the sofa. So I decided I had to leave, and I'm cycling to Starbucks to try and write some words, try and catch up today, maybe try and hit 10k, even though I'm meant to be at 13 by now. That's the plan. So I just did a sprint that was 20 minutes in Starbucks, and then I continued on after that. So I revised 2 pages and I wrote some new words. I can't remember how many, but it all worked out about 800 words, so that's cool. But even more exciting than that, I finished the chapter from hell that I was on. So that's awesome. Wow, there's a swan behind me. Can you guys see it? Look, yeah. I'm really excited about that. I'm now getting to start the next chapter. I've been on the same chapter since I started this Nanowrimo. It was the hugest chapter. I actually split it in 2, but even still, it's still like twice the size of every other chapter, so I might change that later on, but for now we're moving on. Yeah, so I'm really excited to get onto the next one, and it actually takes place mostly on the Forth and Clyde Canal, which is a real canal in Scotland that goes across central Scotland. And it just so happens that the Starbucks that I cycled to, out at a retail park in the middle of nowhere, is really close to the canal. So I was like, hey, I could take a break from writing and actually go to the canal that I'm writing about, even though it's not even remotely the same stretch of canal, but still, pretty cool. Honestly, I'm getting kind of worried that I might not be able to do this. I've revised 2 and a bit pages today. I'm not counting half pages or partial pages, I'm only counting whole pages revised as my word count, and I revised a page today that took me 50 minutes in a sprint, and it was the first page since I started Nanowrimo that I had words left on the page that I hadn't scored out, instead of just writing all on the back, and it still took me 50 minutes, which is the equivalent to 300 words, and I just don't know how I'm going to keep up, to be honest. I knew this was going to be hard, I knew this was going to be a stretch. I really don't know if I can manage 1600 words measured like this every day, because I'm struggling. And it's what I'm spending most of my day doing, is writing. That's like the main part of my day. I do have other stuff, but like I have so much more time than so many people do during Nanowrimo, and I want to catch up, but I'm struggling to even get to daily word count. And I think I know why. I think I figured out why, and I don't know if there's anything I can do about it. I think the problem is that my last draft draft 2 was before I discovered the plot embryo, and so the plot is totally different. In between drafts 2 and 3, I replotted everything with plot embryos, and I had a completely different outline, and I knew that I had a ton of new stuff to write, so I did it digitally, and I tried to get the basic structure together as fast as possible, and I basically ended up, I guess, doing a lot of scenes in a kind of zero draft way, where they were super basic. It was just like the dialogue and the action and no setting or description, almost just like the beats of the scene without any of the detail. And I think the reason that I am scoring out every single word on every single page and rewriting the whole thing on the back is that you can't go from that zero draft stage
to mostly finished on paper just doesn't work, because you've got too much stuff that you need to move around and too many parts where you need to input a whole new paragraph and stuff to fit everything all on that one page. That's why I'm rewriting every single page. The solution for that, I guess, would be to go digital, but I just don't honestly know how to do that with the way that I'm trying to measure my progress for Nanowrimo. Like, it's measured in pages, and those page numbers, because I exported each chapter as a PDF, those page numbers don't apply to the document in Scrivener. I don't know if there's any way to do it digitally and still be able to measure my progress in the same way. So yeah, that's where I'm at today. I'm feeling pretty disheartened. I feel like I'm working my ass off. I'm doing fairly good work, but I don't know. I think this goal maybe has just been a bit unrealistic, and I don't really know what to do about that. Hello friends, so I've had a much better day than yesterday. I have revised 4 pages today, and they've been a lot easier because I skipped the next 2 scenes which I need to write for the end of this chapter and skipped ahead to the next chapter, which I knew was going to be significantly easier. I am at like 1,500 words. I've got like just a little bit left to do, but I'm not counting half pages, so I need to do 1 more page today to hit daily word count, and I'm hoping that getting through the rest of this chapter fairly quickly will help me catch up, hopefully. But now me and Ross have a wedding reception to go to, so I'm about to go and get ready for that. I also finally got round to writing my own Nanowrimo mantra, which is a kind of bonus thing you can do, but to be honest, I've been struggling with, I guess, like the mindset stuff. Like, I've been struggling with how negative I feel about it all, and how worried that I'm not going to be able to do it and stuff, and that I'm not enjoying it enough as well. So I was like, yeah, a little mantra here that I can use as often as possible for the rest of the month is probably going to help. So I finally made the time to write my own. I specifically included a part about actually enjoying the writing, not just getting those 6 pages a day done, but enjoying it, because I think my tendency to complain a lot about my novel, talk about how much I hate it and how much I'm not enjoying it, it's probably not actually helping me enjoy it. So I thought maybe I'll try and actually enjoy it by tricking my brain into it with my mantra. I don't want to write. 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 I don't want to. I've done 1 page today. That's 316 words. Then I have been working on a talk that I'm doing at a speaking event at the end of the month, and in about an hour me and Ross have a meeting for another writing project that I'm doing that's not my novel, and I'm going to spend the whole of what should be my day off, all of the evening, just writing again, because there's no such thing as days off anymore. So I managed to forget to do my vlog yesterday, but today was actually pretty good. For the day. Over the course of the evening I just felt worse and worse, and now I feel like properly ill again. I've had this same thing for like 3 weeks, but it had reduced to like just, you know, a cough, and I felt otherwise fine, but now my head is pounding and my nose is blocked and my throat is sore, and I'm very disappointed. I got a membership for my old university library, and I went and worked there. I worked on brainstorming a scene all day, and then I finally started writing it, and I got about 1,000 words. But then I had a meeting about another project in the evening, and I've not done anything since then. I think that I have accepted that I'm not going to win Nanowrimo in the way that I set out to, because I think I've just realised that you can't rush revision, especially a last revision, in the same way that you can a first draft. Anything that I rush now, I'm just going to have to fix again in another draft, so I might as well just spend the time and do it properly now, and I know that I cannot do that at the pace to finish it within this month. So in some ways I'm feeling better about it. Obviously it's a little bit disappointing that I don't think I'm going to be able to win in the nice, tied off, oh, finished at the end of the month and kind of celebrate with everyone else kind of way. But on the other hand, I think I feel more rooted in this revision than I have previously, because I now feel like I know if I do it properly, if I spend the time, then this can be the last pass, and that's nice. Hey friends, so if you can't already tell from the way that I'm speaking and breathing,
I am ill again. I've done no writing today. I have to go shopping for an outfit for a wedding tomorrow, so I'm not going to get much done tomorrow. So I'm going to continue working where I can towards the end of the month. I'm not going to just abandon this. It's almost like the universe telling me to slow down. I knew it was kind of a pipe dream when I set this goal for myself. It's kind of an arbitrary number of pages that I had left, at least to finish it within Nanowrimo was kind of an arbitrary deadline for this how the hell you quantify revision. There was always a chance that it was just not going to be realistic. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better about it, having kind of realised that and made peace with it. Doing the work, like going more in depth to do the scene right instead of just push through the pages as fast as possible has resulted in it being a lot easier, actually. I had a new scene to write and I spent most of the day figuring it out, brainstorming, problem solving, visualizing, and then I wrote like 1,000 words in like under an hour or something because I already had this really clear picture in my head. And if I was still trying to win Nano, I wouldn't have given myself the time to do that work, which made it so much more efficient. Hello friends. It has been a long time, I know. I've basically dropped off the face of the earth. I've been ill basically all of November, so it got particularly bad and I had a few like kind of big life things going on, so Nanowrimo just fell in the bin, kind of. But I'm feeling a lot better now and I am getting myself back on track. I'm back to work finally, properly today. Working on Patreon stuff, and I am going to get back to writing as soon as I can. I still think it's been a very valuable experience in terms of kind of getting my excitement back about this story. Yeah, I've been ill for I've had like 4 viruses in the last 3 months. And the last one lasted weeks and weeks, basically all through November. Ross and I had an important wedding to go to. One of his best friends was getting married and it was kind of out of the city, so we were actually out staying overnight there for 2 days, which obviously we couldn't really do any work or any writing or any music, and we were ill through all of it, so it was enough to just get through it, to be honest. And then I had a speaking event on the 23rd, so the other day, and I was speaking at an event called Creative Mornings about the plot Embryo and how it translates into real life. I had a lot of preparation to do for that, especially as it was my first speaking event. It went really well, but it took a lot of work and a lot of practicing the talk over and over and over, and that took up basically all of the time that I wasn't just trying to rest and recover from being ill. I'm actually incredibly surprised that I didn't cough my way through the talk eventually, but it was fine. In the days after that, we took it really easy and rested up, and we're finally feeling a bit better, so thank God. It's been a bit of a weird month, to be honest. With being ill and trying so hard to just take it as easy as possible and get better, but with these kind of non-negotiable things, the wedding and the event, I felt very weird and disconnected from my normal life and my normal routines and stuff, and we've just been absolutely dying to get back to stuff. It's nice to finally feel better. I'm actually excited to finish this draft, which is serious progress, because I've not felt excited or interested really about this draft or about the prospect of getting back to this book in a long time. Yeah, I've kind of returned to some parts of my process that I definitely used for my last draft of State of Flux, which I'd kind of, I guess, forgotten about or just been kind of ignoring in my impatience to get this finished. My last draft of State of Flux, it would sometimes take me a long time. I would sit down at the next scene and be like, I don't know what I'm doing with this scene, or I don't like it, or I don't want to write it, and I would give it the time it needed. I would brainstorm. I did a lot of mind mapping back then, so I had these pages and pages of A4 notes on the way that I wanted the scene to go, or how it could go, or how it could make it more interesting. I did a lot of scene redesigning where I take all the existing elements and brainstorm alternatives to each one and come up with hopefully what's the best one. And sometimes that took days to just figure out, okay, how am I going to write this scene? How am I going to make it interesting? Whenever I did that, I let it take the time that it was going to take. When I actually sat down to write the scene, it went so much easier than when I tried to skip that process. And I'd been trying to skip that process with North of the End because I'm so desperate to get it done, and it doesn't work. And I decided that Nanowrimo is what you make of it. It is a tool. It is not an end goal in itself. It's kind of helped me
realise what it's like to do that same process on those tricky scenes again and really feel like at the end of it, like, yeah, I fucking nailed that scene because I gave it what it needed, instead of, okay, I rushed through that to get through it as fast as possible and I revised as well as I could, but it was like pulling teeth all the way and I'm not even particularly happy with it at the end of it.
Hello friends. So, I have been writing basically all of today, but it's not been north of the end. I have another project which I need to find out if I can talk about it, I guess. Yeah, but basically people need me to do some writing stuff so that people can go on and do the other stuff. So I've been working on that all day, basically just brainstorming a scene, and it's gone pretty well. I've not come to like answers or conclusions or anything, but I've had a good enough time and I feel like I've generated a lot of stuff. So I had quite a stompy, slow, annoying morning. Woke up really late, got sucked into my phone in bed, which is always the worst for me, and then just didn't want to do my normal morning routine stuff, but got there eventually.
So that's it. Nanowrimo this year did not go according to plan at all. I was ill for most of it, all of it almost, but still ultimately glad that I decided to do it. Grateful for the things that I have learned, which I feel like I've learned a lot, and looking forward to what's next.